All right. Good evening, everybody. Thank you for tuning in. What's up? Welcome to Four Quarters of a Whole Idiot podcast. Thank you all for being here with us. You're watching us live on Twitch and YouTube. Catch us live here every Thursday night at 7 p.m. or 7-ish p.m. It's 7:03 right now. But come to Twitch and YouTube, hang out with the boys for a little bit, man. My name is Austin. I'm gonna be your primary host for the night, and I'm joined here by my boys Jay and Tom. What's up, guys? How we doing?
Hey, how
Go
we
on, everybody.
doing?
Oh yeah, we're here to discuss some priority fantasy news, not news, but things that we need. If you guys want to have a successful fantasy football season this year, you're gonna want to know where the running backs fall, and that's what we're here to talk about today. So we're gonna get into our running back tier list. Last week we did a quarterback tier list, and that wasn't necessarily. We didn't announce that it was fantasy focused, but I do want to just clear the air a little bit because we're getting a whole lot of hate on our Trevor Lawrence take. And let me say, it might be a little warranted to a degree after looking the stats, but from a fantasy perspective and a vibes perspective, yeah, we're New England fans. We're not the highest on him. I'll take credit or accountability there. He might be a little bit better than a C tier than I was saying. I could see him in the B. You could make the argument for the A, but I just have to say this whole entire running back tier list, it is 1000% focused on fantasy football, not actual real life. So take the rankings with a little bit of a grain of salt if you're thinking about real life tiers here. Also, our fantasy league, this is what our experience is. Our fantasy league rather, we have crazy scoring. I'm saying like points per completion, points per reception. We got big boosts. You get a 40-yard touchdown. Man, we're talking like 15, 20 points that it's coming your way depending on how long that touchdown was. So like our scoring is wicked boosted. So this tier list, we're going to try not to allow our bias in for that factor, but we're going to talk about some big plays. So yeah, without further ado, let's get right into it.
All right, awesome.
Let's start. I'm sorry. Did you want to say something?
No, I'm excited. I'm ready to jump right into it.
Oh yeah.
I don't think I've seen y'all's scoring system before, so that sounds pretty interesting.
We'll walk you through it, man.
It's pretty
Um,
wild.
you make people that are probable bums in standard leagues actually be serviceable flexes and RB2s in our league. So it's a lot of fun. You're not worried about your player putting up 5 points because he only got 50 yards. 50 yards for us, that's like 10 points. And if you get a first down, it's an extra half point. If you run for 20 plus yards, I think that's a bonus too. Like we got a lot of boosts in it. So it's a whole lot of fun when you get a lot more points. We're gonna start with the AFC, and I actually know the AFC and the NFC this time because I'm a little bit more prepared, which is phenomenal for everybody. We're gonna start with he's like the LeBron James of running backs, Derrick Henry, consistent king on the field, put up 1,500 rushing yards last season again. I want to almost say this guy is still S tier, even though his age and health concerns me. But he played like the whole season last year, so like, am I that concerned? I think I would take Derrick Henry first in the first round. Absolutely, I think he's a S tier running back.
First round. Did he really have like 1,500 yards last year still?
I'm
Yeah, he
gonna
was
tell
really
you,
productive. He had
he had
a couple
5 yard
down
shy
weeks.
of 16.
Dang, that's crazy. Yeah,
Yeah,
I
he had a
mean,
couple down weeks early on, but besides that, he was really consistent. Probably the
And
most consistent running back.
one thing about Derrick Henry, 16 rushing touchdowns last year too, averaging 5.2 yards a carry. Like that, it's like this dude's still in his prime. He's never left it yet. So I'm King Henry for sure. I think he's an S tier running back.
yeah, I definitely agree. I mean, now that I'm looking at this, like he literally led the league in rushing yards. I think he's got to be S tier, right?
Yeah, correction. James Cook had 26 more yards than him. However, he's number two by 4 carries.
And I think Derrick Henry is only second to Jonathan Taylor in running back touchdowns last year.
Yeah, that's
I think JT
yeah.
finished like 18.
I
Yeah,
think
that's a dog.
I think like the only knock on him is didn't he have like fumbling issues for the first time in his life? I see he fumbled the ball 6 times like I could be talking out of my
Yeah.
ass, but didn't he go on like some crazy run of like just not fumbling the football at all? Like
I think,
came close to the NFL record for most carries without a fumble.
yeah, he. I don't know exactly the numbers and stuff, but Derrick Henry, yeah, he's like the most reliable running back to ever exist. It seems like. So yeah, it was pretty disappointing to see. I saw before the season last year that him and Adam Sandler had a bet, and Adam Sandler was like, "Dude, if you rush for 2,000 yards this season, I'll put you in a movie." And I think the pressure might have gotten to Derrick a little bit. He's still put up crazy numbers, basically 1,600 rushing yards in the season, 16 touchdowns. So like he was close, but unfortunately didn't get there.
Yeah, I see Brett saying in the chat, strong second half when Spec traded him to me. What did you trade to get King Henry? I'm just curious.
Oh my
Freaking
god.
handshake and a Swiss cheese sandwich.
For the first time ever in our fantasy football league, and mind you, all we're on 13 years in this league. For the first time ever, we witnessed somebody trade their second round draft pick for a running back. We've never ever had any draft picks traded in our league before, and in the middle of the season, Brett and Spec decided, hey, how can we collude? And they just went ahead and made up their own rules and traded a draft pick.
Oh, this
and
was a draft pick
somehow
trade.
the league is okay with that. So now in our fantasy football draft, Spectic has 2 second-round draft picks. So
That's
we're
crazy.
we're a little nervous. However, Spect has yet to even make a fantasy football championship since, I don't know, like 12 years. So I don't think I'm that worried about it. He'll end up trading half his team back to Brett anyway, like he does every season. So
Yeah, I see Noah, and you're saying that's a touchy subject.
yeah,
Yeah,
you're opening a
because
can
it
of
was
worms.
our first time trading draft picks. The way we went about it was basically 1 through 10 was worth, like, if you were going to draft them in the first, that's what they're worth. So at the time, Derrick Henry was rated like 15th or overall, somewhere around there. So he was valued at a second round draft pick.
Okay.
So
Now, mind you, just to put a little bit more context, before Specht had traded Derrick Henry to Noah or to Brett, Derrick Henry was traded to my father. I don't remember who my dad gave up for him, but I remember thinking, Dad, you're getting fucked. You are getting robbed. And somehow he allowed the trade because my dad's team was doing terrible. He's just like, I need to change something up. He traded away Derrick Henry for him. And yeah, it was tough. It was tough to see. And then Derrick Henry goes for a bag of chips and a second round draft pick.
well,
And-
listen, while we got the platform, I just want to take a moment to give some, friendly competitive advice to Mr. Joe. Stop drafting 4 quarterbacks and maybe you'll have a decent team. All right. You wouldn't have to make as many
Ooh.
trades if you didn't draft 4 quarterbacks.
Hey, I will say he said he's going to be there in person for this next draft, so you can actually tell him that to his face.
I
you
have no
don't-
problem doing that.
Are we a 2 QB
So-
league here, or like a flex? Not to get too into it, I guess.
Nah, it's a regular flex.
Gotcha.
It used to be a 2 QB league back in high school, but if you had Peyton Manning and like Drew Brees, your team was going to the championship automatically.
Yeah.
So we had to can that after like the second league, but we spent a lot of time here on the first person. Derrick Henry, you're a GOAT, bro. He's a future Hall of Famer. Can't take him out of the S tier.
Yeah.
Moving
deserved.
on. It's funny. Next listed is James Cook, and he is the league's leading rusher as of last season. 1,621 yards, 12 rushing touchdowns, 40 targets, 291 receiving yards, 2 receiving touchdowns. I mean, the dude had an S tier season for sure. Do we think he's going to sustain that and maintain that? What are your guys' thoughts? I don't want to just throw a tier out here. I want to hear you guys' opinions first.
I mean, I feel like the Bills didn't have that big of a free agency offseason, right? Like they're kind of going in right around the same level that they were last year. So I would expect his production numbers to stay about the same. I don't know if he's going to score as much, but I mean, he's their 5 yards and under taking it to the house. So I still think he'll probably be S tier within the league.
Yeah, I think this guy helped carry me to a fantasy championship last year, so I almost feel like his the absolute lowest I'd be willing to go on him is like low S tier, but he's had like 2 back-to-back pretty good years. Definitely a breakout year last year, and I think so long as he's in Buffalo, he's probably gonna continue to put up like at least 10 touchdowns, 1,200 yards, give or take.
Now, before we go ahead and grade him into the S tier, I don't disagree with what you guys are saying, but I'm thinking about like the first 2 people that are going off in every single fantasy draft board,
That is
Bijan
true.
Robinson and Jahmyr Gibbs. In comparison to those 2 guys, would you ever draft? And I'm even going to throw Derrick Henry in this conversation. Would you ever draft Derrick Henry or James Cook over Bijan Robinson or Jahmyr Gibbs?
No, God no. I
Maybe
think that's a good point.
should we switch Derrick Henry and James Cook down to an A tier
I think for
and
now,
solidify the S tier as those 2 as like the grails?
I think we leave it for now, right? Like going off the consistency and what we did last episode. Let's see how it plays out, and then we'll kind of drop people as needed. We'll try to reserve that S tier for the top 3 players in the NFL, and then the A slot be 4 through 10, and so on. And so forth.
Yeah. Okay, I see what you're saying. My only rebuttal to that, Tom, is remember when we posted the Trevor Lawrence clip? We ended up moving him up at the end, but you don't see that in the clip. So like, I get a lot of people coming at me for that, and I just don't want people coming at me thinking that I would genuinely draft these 2 guys over Bijan or Jahmyr Gibbs.
There's a reason for that, and that's because Jacksonville Jaguars fans have nothing else to do besides hate for anybody that has anything negative to say about their team. They're kind of like the Jets. They have nothing but false hope all season. They have one good year, and now they think they're turning it around, and at the end of the day, they're just another average team.
Oof, average. That's crazy. Or might get
Ours.
some
I
hate
said
for
it
that
how
one.
I said it. Let it come. I'm here to defend it with that.
You're gonna have to put that out on TikTok there. You're gonna have to clip that one. We'll see how they react to that. We could go into the last clip, into all the comments, and just post that video as our response to all of them,
Right.
and see how they feel. Just rage bait the shit out of them. All right. Do we want to just throw Bijan Robinson and Jahmyr Gibbs in S tier since we just
I think
kind of talked about them?
Very fair. I mean,
Yeah.
Let's see. We got
Skip over the obvious.
Gibbs. Got where's the NFC? They're not.
He's
in
to the
NFC
right.
East.
He's
I'm an
to
idiot.
the right. He's to the left of CMC.
Oh, yep. Duh. Yeah. I mean, these 2, they're your 2 premier guys. Like, they're 1 and 2 on the board.
Absolutely.
Doesn't get much better than those guys. All right. Who
Chase
got
Brown?
next? Chase Brown.
Chase Brown. I want to say one thing about Chase Brown. He is a very good talent. If Joe Burrow does not stay healthy, Chase Brown's stock tanks. Ask me how I know.
Did you own Chase Brown last year?
I started my fantasy season last year 1-6 because I drafted Jamar Chase and Chase Brown as my 1 and 2 draft picks.
That's a rough one.
It was rough. If Joe Burrow stayed healthy, it would not have been an issue at all. But it was a tough first half of the season. For all of those are out there, their hearts are a little touched by that. I'm sorry. I was in the same boat with you. Hopefully you made it to your fantasy championship like I did. Hopefully you won it unlike I did. Anyways, I digress. Chase Brown, I think he's an A tier talent, depending on Joe Burrow's health. If Joe Burrow's unhealthy, he goes right down to the B tier.
Yeah, that's a fair point, and I feel like there's such a huge distinction with him too, right? Between a PPR league and a regular scoring league. Like in PPR, I think he's definitely an A tier talent.
Absolutely.
So long as Joe Burrow's healthy, but in regular it's B. So he's a dual threat back. I'm cool with putting him maybe high end of B tier for now, because I know there's that question mark on Joe Burrow's health.
Tom, be the decision maker here.
Yeah, I mean, I like Chase Brown. He's definitely a valuable player. I think that obviously we saw a decline in his numbers once Joe Burrow came out, but I mean, he was still a viable option with Flack Daddy at the starting position. So I think if he is going to be B tier, he's probably one of the highest of the high, and he may end up sliding up once we finish up here, but yeah, that's where I would put him for right now.
All right, high B tier it is.
All right, I could definitely see. I think he's an A-tier talent, so I think I could
Again,
wind up
a
100%.
agreeing when we take
healthy
a
Joe
look.
Burrow,
Yeah,
healthy offensive line, absolutely. Like this dude could have an S tier season at any given moment. You know, like that whole entire offense is just on a whole nother level when they're all healthy and firing on all cylinders. But like, it's just it's a question mark. I will say there's no real concern with him being healthy. He played all 17 games last week, but it's everybody else around him. Moving on to somebody who was a rookie last season, I believe, Quinshawn Judkins on the Browns.
Sean Judkins.
I didn't know anything about him coming into the season. I'm pretty sure he didn't start right off the season, but he earned the starting role pretty quickly.
No, I
yeah,
believe he was in some legal trouble at like during the preseason going into the season, and that's
I
what
think you might
prevented
be
him from
right.
starting it.
Okay.
But he was very productive once he got going.
Yeah, I mean, 827 rushing yards. He only played 14 games, so he missed 3 games at least. I mean, give him 3 games, he'd be at least 1,000-yard rusher probably. So
Yeah, I think the games he missed were at the end of the year, right? After he had the leg injury.
Yep.
oh, that's right.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
think
3.6 yards per carry. I don't love that stat, but he plays for the Browns, so maybe give him a
yeah,
little grace.
yeah, 3.6 isn't the greatest, but the Browns offense is just like so trash. Like, what else are you gonna do against them besides stack the
Yeah.
box against Judkins?
Right. For fantasy purposes, I could definitely see Judkins being an RB2. I don't think he gets much higher unless it depends on the overall team success. Him individually, as of right now, even if he has the same season as last season, I think he's like a mid B range, somewhere in that realm.
Yeah, I think
He could even be a C tier if, you know, the Browns O line gets hurt. I don't know.
Yeah, he's another one of those guys. He's got a ton of talent, but he's getting a little bit shafted by being on the Cleveland Browns.
Yeah, bad situation.
Also,
Yeah,
shout
the
out.
hard
Oh,
the
go
hard
ahead.
part with him with fantasy too is that the league is just so talented at the running back position that he's kind of handcuffed to that RB2 flex spot depending on how well you draft. That's why I'd probably toss him probably in that same conversation with Chase Brown in the B tier.
Yeah.
Yeah, just to be clear, Chase Brown is firmly miles ahead of him.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
All right, I'm cool with throwing him in the B tier. If you want to hear a little bit more about Quinshawn Judkins and where he's kind of going in your average fantasy draft, check out Noah's new video on YouTube about guys you might want to take a look at higher than their average ADP.
Yeah, especially the last person he mentions on that video. I think he's going to be a real sleeper this year. I'm not going to tell you who it is. You got to go watch the video to check it out, but firmly agree. It's some good stuff. J.K. Dobbins, now on the Broncos. Not now. He was on the Broncos last year, but since he's been on the Broncos, I feel like he's been like an entirely different running back from a fantasy perspective. Last year, he missed some time. He only played 10 games. But when he's healthy, I mean, in 10 games, he had 772 rushing yards, 4 touchdowns, 37 receiving yards. That's not great. I don't know. It's going to be a toss-up. Let me stop glazing this guy. It's going to be a toss-up between J.K. Dobbins and R.J. Harvey, depending on who stays healthy. I don't think either of them stay healthy for the full season. I want to kind of just say that because of that, neither of them will see a full season starting at least. I would put both of them in a C tier for a fantasy football purpose.
Yeah, and we've got both of them on our board here.
Yeah,
I want to discuss them both at once.
They're like the same player, bro. I don't know. It's weird.
They really are. They're neither of them
I will
really
say
differentiate from each other.
J.K. Dobbins averaged 5 yards per carry to R.J. Harvey's 3.7. So I will say J.K. Dobbins definitely has a leg up on R.J. However, I think R.J. was a rookie last year, so I think he can only go up from where he was before. I think I don't think that changes what I say though. You're not drafting either of these guys high in your
No.
draft.
And they're probably two guys that you're kind of taking together too. Like, if you get one, you're probably gonna try and get the other. I do remember there being a
Absolutely.
lot of hype surrounding Harvey going into last season, like the start of last year. He just didn't quite live up to it, so maybe there's some more room for improvement this year.
Yeah,
All
we'll
right,
see.
so are we thinking C tier for Dobbins?
Yeah, in for Harvey, but
In
make
for
sure Dobbins
Harvey.
is obviously ahead of Harvey.
Yeah,
How cute! It's like a duo for each tier so far.
it is.
Hmm.
Yeah, got two for each right now.
All right. This one's gonna be really interesting. David Montgomery, who is now on the Houston
Oh.
Texans. I think David Montgomery, personally, I drafted him a ton over just over his career. I didn't get him a lot when he was in Detroit. I wasn't a fan of him when he was in Chicago. He's a crazy asset to Detroit the entire time he's there, being their go to for the goal line touches and whatnot. In Houston, Joe Mixon in 2024 had a phenomenal season with that offensive line and just the whole offensive scheme. I think David Montgomery can see a lot of success in that position. However, it all depends on the health of the O-line and the health of David Montgomery, of course. If he stays healthy if they all stay healthy for the full season, he could be he could be a sleeper for fantasy, to be honest. I think he'll outperform his expectations. I want to say he could float by the end of the season. He could find himself teetering in an A tier. I don't want to automatically say that because he has to show that he lives up to the potential first. But I think there's no lower than a B tier for David Montgomery.
Yeah, he definitely took a little bit of a step back last year, and honestly, you can't really fault him for that because of just how much of a beast Jahmyr Gibbs turned into last year.
Right.
I mean, despite Jahmyr Gibbs being as good as he was, like David Montgomery still had 700 yards and 8 touchdowns, average 4.5 on the ground. Yeah, rip Sonic and Knuckles. That is very sad to see them break up, but I think looking at like who we currently have, I'm comfortable with B tier for him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then we do have Woody Marks on here. I don't know if we want to discuss him at all or just kind of throw him
Is he
down
on the tier list?
He is on
Yeah.
tier list here. I don't know if we want to throw him just like in the injury handcuff. And he did go
Yeah,
for
I probably
700
would.
yards last year, but he's definitely firmly the
I don't even
second
think
back there.
I didn't even put him on my spreadsheet.
Yeah, that's fair. I'll just throw him in injury handcuff.
Yeah. Definitely I feel like that's maybe one of the last picks of the draft handcuff material.
Yeah.
For sure. If he even makes it that far. I don't know how deep running backs are going to be from, RB3 to 4 perspective, but we'll see. Jonathan Taylor. This is a person that I actually might end up taking in the first round of our draft this year. Spoiler alert. He's heavy on my mind.
What pick number you got?
I have number 3. So I lose out on Jahmyr Gibbs and Bijan Robinson automatically.
There's a guy who I think we'll discuss next week in our wide receiver tier list who you could take a look at there, but let's
so
get
last
into
year,
Jonathan Taylor.
Yeah, let's do that. We'll talk wide receivers next week. Jonathan Taylor, 1,585 yards. He was literally, less than 40 yards shy of being the league leading rusher. Crazy. James Cook, Derrick Henry, and Jonathan Taylor all within like 40 yards of each other being on the top. That's insane. Jonathan Taylor taking the cake with the touchdown totals, though, of 18 rushing touchdowns, 2 receiving touchdowns. He's just an absolute menace in the offense. Now, my only concern here, we talked about him a little bit last week. I don't know about Daniel Jones being exactly, as good as he was last season coming back from the injury. If he's as powerful as he was, he plays at, a higher level than he even did last season. There's no reason Jonathan Taylor does not have another, S tier season that he did last year. Even without Daniel Jones, he was doing fine, but it's always better, obviously, to have your QB1 in there. With that being said, He's probably one of the only other people I would actually be okay with seeing in the S tier on this list. Him and one other. Well, maybe I shouldn't say that. There, I guess there's a couple other people, but he's one of the only other people I wouldn't mind putting in an S tier. But what do you guys think?
Man, Jonathan Taylor. I have a lot of history with this guy. And my main fantasy football league gets a keeper league, and I've pretty much had Jonathan Taylor since like he came into the league.
Oh, so you've been living good.
Yeah, not too bad, except for like the one down year and the injury. There's like so many things that you can say about Jonathan Taylor. I feel like the thing that stands out the most to me is just like when he gets hot, he is by far like better than anybody else in the league. Like he'll just go on stretches of like 2 or 3 weeks where he'll run for like 200 yards and 3 touchdowns a game, and then
Yep.
he will go a little bit cold. So there's a bit of that streakiness there. I could almost see him sneaking into the S tier, but what do you think, Tom?
It's a tough one. I mean, he has been one of the more consistent running backs in the league in the past 5 years. He just put up his second best season last year with Daniel Jones. So I think if Daniel Jones stays healthy, we can definitely see him creeping into that S tier. Definitely still a top 10 pick within fantasy, but just in the conversation focusing on running backs, I think he sits in that A tier for me. There's a couple other guys that I might look to take ahead of him, just with the hopes of potentially putting up similar numbers. I just don't know how much more he can keep it up with what he's been doing.
Well, if he's anything like Derrick Henry, he'll be
That's
doing
true.
it till another decade. Yeah,
I mean,
consistency and longevity are my only two concerns with Jonathan Taylor. But from history speaking, he's one of the most elite running backs that I think we've seen play the game in a long time.
Yeah, no, 100%. I mean, we're going into season 7. He's had 4 years so far that were over 1,000 yards rushing. All of those seasons had double-digit touchdowns, so I definitely think he's going to be up there, and I could see him putting up similar numbers, if not maybe a little bit higher this year.
So where does that land him? Does that put him in the S tier? I mean, I straight up just said that I might draft him 3rd overall. So like, I'm okay with him being in the S tier personally.
I think maybe we go top of A tier for now, and then take a look at the end again and see if there really is anybody else we would put ahead of him.
That's fine. I'm looking at the name on the spreadsheet that I would, but
we wind up clipping this and putting it up, and Colts fans see this, might have some more AFC South hate coming our way.
Yeah, probably. That's okay. I mean, I did my best. All right. Bashal Tutin on the Jacksonville Jaguars. Wow, look at that. How convenient. I don't know much about this guy. I don't think he had a very good season last year. What'd he do? I think he didn't play a lot. He had 8 carries? 8 carries and 14 targets. I mean, Etienne was the starter over there. Etienne is no longer in Jacksonville, so I think this guy steps into the RB1 spot. I have no research other than his stat line: 8 carries, 307 rushing yards. What? That might be an error on the stats. I'm not gonna lie. There's no way he had 307 yards for 8 carries, but it says he has 3.7 yards per carry. So I wonder where that came from. Can somebody fact check that real quick?
He had 83 rushes for 307 yards.
83. Okay, that's so I just forgot the 3 at the end of that. That's my fault. I was about to say, what is going on here? That gives a little bit more of a sample size. I need to see more from him before I can have an opinion. I would throw him in the C tier.
Yeah, it looks like he had 1 game with more than 10 rushing attempts. And in that game, he did rush for an average of 5 yards per carry, but outside of that, he didn't really do a whole lot last year. To be honest, I don't really even know who this guy is, so
yeah,
I'm fine with C tier if y'all are.
Yeah, I mean that's the thing, right? Is like Etienne was such a beast last year. He was stayed almost in the top 5 running backs throughout the whole season,
Yep.
and definitely carried the majority of the workload. So with Tutton stepping into the starting position and not really having to compete with anybody, we're definitely going to see his production and his yards per carry go up. It's just a matter of how often they go to the run game, and I think that depends on how healthy their receiver core stays. So I think you guys are right on point. I said it a couple minutes ago. I'll say it again. Jacksonville is an average team full of average players. My boy's got to sit in the C range right now.
More Jacksonville Jaguars hate coming our way. Let's go.
I'm not gonna lie, I was almost thinking D tier for a second, but I think the fact that he's a starter and doesn't have much competition like that automatically takes him out of the D tier. Like, he's a guy that you're gonna consider to roster as maybe a flex if he performs decently.
Yep, I agree.
I'd be willing to take the gamble depending on how the draft board ends up.
Really? You would draft a Jaguars player, Tom? You've given so much shade to them.
Not for an RB1, but if RB2s are getting down there, I might take a stab if he's on the board.
Like I said, QB1.
No, absolutely not. Absolutely not. I'll draft Tom Brady with the hopes that he's coming back before I draft Trevor Lawrence.
Wow.
That's crazy.
Okay. Let's move on before we get fucking crucified. Kenneth Walker, new man in town in Kansas City. Is Kenneth Walker what the Chiefs have been missing this whole time? Maybe. I'm excited for Kenneth Walker this year. I've always thought Kenneth Walker was a good running back. I never thought he was elite until I seen the Super Bowl and what he did to us. Then I was like, damn, this guy has the talent. Being in Kansas City, I mean, Patrick Mahomes, he's Patrick Mahomes. He just needs more help. And I think this is exactly the help he needed. I think Kenneth Walker firmly sits around the Chase Brown section of the B tier.
Yeah, I think that's fair.
Here's the thing, though. You're talking about Super Bowl MVP Kenneth Walker III, all right?
Absolutely. I sure am.
You got to put some respect on his name.
Yes, you do. I absolutely agree. The only thing is, like, is he what Kansas City needs? I don't know. Kansas City hasn't had a good running game since Jamal Charles in 2015. So,
yeah, but what isn't Travis Kelce entering like his 14th season over there, old man status on the edge of retirement?
Yeah,
you
so think about the
Mahomes
blocking
coming off an injury.
Think about the blocking Travis Kelce's going to offer them. Boo.
That dude's not like. I mean, he's not a bad blocker, but he's no Gronk out there.
Hey, he's married now. He's got a wife to think about. He can't just be out there putting his whole life on the line to protect Kenneth Walker III. Maybe the first or the second, but the third? I'm kidding. I do think Kenneth Walker is a very good running back. In real life, he definitely would be more than a B tier. For fantasy purposes, I don't think he exceeds Chase Brown, so I think he's got to go B tier.
I would probably take him over Judkins and Montgomery, at least to start the year, but I wouldn't take him over Chase Brown.
I would too. I agree.
Yeah.
And he finally had I feel like for the first time he finally had a fully healthy season last year. Like, he actually played all 17 games, which was great to see. I know that health had been an issue for him his first few years in the league, so I hope he does well, but I also wouldn't mind if he doesn't do well because I hate the Chiefs. So
I think his numbers gonna be better this year than they were last year. I mean, he was competing with JSN. You know what I mean? Who's he competing with on Kansas City? Like, to me, he's their number one option.
Yeah, the Chiefs, they definitely will want to get a run game going too, to be able to open the ball up for Mahomes, I'm sure, because they had to just rely on him way too much last year. So
yeah,
he'll definitely get the carries and get a larger workload in Kansas City.
Yeah, I agree. I hope he's what they need, honestly. We'll see. I think we got him in the right spot. Sorry, I'm gonna let you guys lead the conversation on this next guy because I just got to respond to a work message that I'm getting at 7:37 p.m. Can't believe it. Omarion Hampton.
Ooh.
If he has a fully healthy season, baby, I'm excited to see what this guy does. But what do you guys think?
This is his sophomore year, right?
Yes.
He was
Yeah.
probably the second most hyped rookie running back coming into last year. I like him a lot. There's a lot of potential there. He felt like another one of those guys who was a little bit streaky last year now. I'm gonna pull him up on my end.
Yeah.
Ryan
Yeah.
Hampton.
I think when he came back healthy, I'm pretty sure he had a decent run at it. What was his stats?
Coming off of his injury, I mean, for the season, he had 124 carries, 545 yards, 4 touchdowns. He also had 32 receptions for 192 yards and a touchdown.
He played
For our
9
league-
games.
Yeah.
That's a bit rougher
I'm-
than I thought.
Yeah, I mean, it was tough, but he also missed
A large majority of the season.
8 weeks. So
And he probably had a couple weeks where he was just getting back into the swing of things. He's
Right.
I'm kind of big on Hampton for this year. I mean, obviously he's, I think, a fringe wide receiver 1 or running back 1. I apologize, getting ahead of myself for next week. But the thing that has me excited for this season, especially, is Mike McDaniel coming in to that offensive coordinator position for them. I mean, you saw what he did with Atchin down in Miami. And I think Hampton's a better running back than Atchin. So I think that he's going to jump up.
Did I just hear that right?
Depends
Bro,
what
I
you
think
think you heard.
I'm appalled. Do you know
What?
Do you know the season A-Chain had last season?
Yeah. And what I'm telling you is, I think ability-wise,
Omari and Hampton is going to do better.
I'm not saying he's going to do better. I'm saying I'm excited to watch him play with Mike McDaniel at that offensive coordinator position, because I think he's more talented.
So, all right. I mean, I haven't seen Omari and Hampton to rush enough. I've only seen highlights of Devon Achane, and I haven't seen like full games. I can't tell you about the talent level. I can tell you about the numbers. And from a fantasy perspective, brother, Devon Achane's getting almost 100 targets for receiving. Bro had 488 receiving yards, 4 receiving touchdowns, on top of having 1,350 rushing yards. Mind you, that's on 238 carries. He has 5.7 yards per carry, which I think might lead the league.
It did lead the league last year.
And starting running backs. Like, we're talking about like literally one of the most efficient running backs that is in the NFL. What are we talking? You think Omari and Hampton's going to do better than that?
I'm saying that he's going to do better than he has been, and I'm excited to watch him play.
Okay.
I think he's going to have a great year.
I'm excited for him too. If you're right, I'm hella excited for it. Maybe I'll draft him. Omari and Hampton, where are we putting him? Is that an A tier? Are you saying he's A tier or B tier? What are we?
I think he's.
I think you have to put him in that B.
I feel like talent-wise, he's a bottom of A tier guy. He's going around like ADP 20 right now in most leagues.
That's a B tier running back, man. That's an RB2.
I think he's going to surprise you. I think he's going to be an RB1. By the end of the season, he'll be a top 10 running back.
I'm not saying he can't be, by the way, just so we're on the same page. I just literally don't know enough about the guy to say that he will be, surely.
Hold up.
I know.
He's got.
I know.
Sorry. Go ahead.
No. It's all you.
He's got your man Justin Herbert though at QB.
He does.
He does have Justin Herbert. Justin Herbert, who is probably going to pass more.
To Omari and Hampton.
Hold on. What did he do from a passing? 35 targets in 9 games. That's almost double. Yeah, I mean, if you double that, 18 games, he'd have 70. He's on pace for. I mean, that's a good number. Yeah, we'll see. Shit, maybe. I think we just need to see it.
Right. ESPN has him projected for 270 carries, just under 1,200 yards, 10 touchdowns, 56 receptions, just under 400 yards, 2 touchdowns. I think that so basically just doubling his numbers from this year, which I think he'd be on pace to do. I think ESPN for once might have it right.
No way, dude. Their projections are so garbage half the time.
I'm telling you, for once they might have it right with Amari and Hampton.
All right, we'll see. I think we have to see it before we can place him there firmly. So I like the B tier for
Top of
Omari
B
and Hampton.
tier. All right.
Yeah.
I guess since we just talked about him, do we want to talk about A-Chain?
Yeah, I mean,
oh my god, I'm butchering his name. How do you pronounce it?
A-Chain? Devon A-Chain, I think. I don't even know if that's correct.
I don't even know. I said A-Chan, A-Chain. I think it changes depending on how frustrated
dog,
I
that's
get
what
talking
he is.
about him. He is a dog.
He is.
But
Why are you
again,
getting frustrated talking about him? He's no less than an A tier. But like after last season, you can make the argument for an S tier running back. He was like top 3.
and
I
he's
think
not going to have the same season that he had last year. This season,
why?
Miami has been gutted. They are in a complete rebuild. He is the
only
notable player on their team. He's the only
one. Exactly. He's going to get all the work, bro. They don't have anybody to throw the ball to.
They were pretty gutted last year. I mean,
they're going to continue to throw it to him, bro.
Hill, but
he's going to be one of the only running backs, probably behind CMC, to get 100 targets next season.
All I'm saying is whoever drafts him is going to be left holding the bag and probably going to get bounced out of their playoffs in fantasy.
Oh,
it depends. I think it will strongly depend on what his schedule looks like for the end of the season. I haven't seen it. But I think, you cannot put Devon A-Chain anywhere other than A or S tier.
He's definitely at least A tier. I personally would take Jonathan Taylor over him, but I don't know about y'all. It sounds like, Austin, maybe you're alluding to you like A-Chain better than.
Well, now that I'm looking,
I have pure hate for A-Chain. I drafted him 2 years ago, and he put up like 1-2 points, and then I dropped him. Brett picked him up, and he dropped 73 like week 4. So like just off of that, I have that hatred.
That's your fault for dropping him.
But looking at our tier list, right? The guys in A tier alongside him, JT, James Cook, and Derrick Henry, I would take all 3 over A-Chain.
Ooh, I feel like I would take A-Chain over Cook and Henry personally. That might just be me though.
I might take James Cook over him. I might. That's it. Jim, I don't know.
What accolades do you have in fantasy football? May I ask?
So I won my 12-team league last year. Second championship win in the last 4 years.
Those are pretty good stats. I respect. It's very respectable.
It is a keeper league, and I've been blessed with Puka Nacua and Jonathan Taylor. So
you have been lucky.
All right, so there's an
I just want to say, right, as a
don't say it, Tom. Don't say it.
Football winner, 2 times repeated, 2023, 2024. Right, last year we had a couple of stumbles, mostly because of Rico Dowell and the Carolina Panthers. Fuck you guys. My boy Chuba. He's coming back. Definitely a number 1 running back. I'll be drafting him first round if he's there. But I'm telling you right now, like, again, I would take all 5 between S tier and the 3 guys we have in A tier over A-Chain. I'm drafting Mari and Hampton before I draft A-Chain.
That's a little crazy.
You are
crazy.
I stand on business.
Okay.
We'll post a draft board.
We're gonna have to revisit these podcasts by the end of the season just to see where these fucking projections lined up. I hope you're fucking wrong, dude. I mean, though, I think the world alludes that you're being wrong.
Draft him. Hold the bag in your hands.
Hold on.
And watch somebody else win a fantasy football season next year.
I would draft everybody from B tier and up, absolutely, in any of my fantasy leagues, 1,000%. Just so we're on the same page. I will draft him if he's available, depending just when. That's all. All right. We're done talking about A-Chain and your hate for him. He's a phenomenal player. Ashton Jeanty. Let's talk about this guy real quick because he's supposed to be phenomenal, but he's on a very unphenomenal team. So that makes him, for fantasy wise, pretty not phenomenal, but his talent keeps him in a good conversation. ESPN has Ashton Jeanty going like top 10 running backs, top 10, I think, overall, something like that. He's very high in the ADPs.
Yeah, average draft position for ESPN is 17.9, so right around that 17 to 18
All
spot.
right, definitely a top 8 running back he's going as. I just don't see how that happens. Genuinely, look at last season for him. I mean, he's not a bad player by any means, him personally, but like he couldn't even amass 1,000 yards behind that O line, and he played all 17 games. He had 266 carries, averaged 3.7 yards. He only had 10 total touchdowns. I mean, I say only 10's not a terrible number, but that's 5 rushing, 5 receiving. I guess I didn't realize his receiving's not bad. He does get he had 73 targets last year, so in a PPR league, he's definitely gonna be great. But from a pure rushing standpoint, I don't know. I don't know if I can see him going before any of the A or S tier people.
Oh
on
yeah,
the board
definitely
right
not.
No, I think I have him on the lower side of that A tier. I definitely think he's top 10. Like Brett just said in the chat, it's not really possible for him to have a worse year than last year, which is true. I mean, Las Vegas seems to be taking, their draft and free agency pickups more seriously than they have in the past. They just got Fernando Mendoza, so I mean, if the hype is real around that QB, I don't see Ashton Genty doing anything but taking a leap forward. But for me, I'm kind of with you. Like, I wish we had more besides that rookie year. I don't really know where to put him. I'd say probably AB because I kind of just want to see more. Like, I think after this year, I'll have a better idea of what type of running back he is.
Would you draft him over Omari and Hampton?
No.
All right. I think he's got to go behind him in the B tier.
I mean, I wouldn't really be mad about that.
Yeah, it wouldn't be either. Like, what's coming to mind for me for him is like, I don't think I'd be super happy if he was my RB1. Like, I'd be okay with it, but I'd be happy if it was my RB2 though.
I would
100%.
Yeah, I mean, from an upside standpoint too, and what he's going to do in the passing game. Yeah, RB2 for sure.
Yeah,
RB1, he has the potential. The potential is not the question. It's just how does the rest of the team play around him? I guess.
Yeah.
How do they make him better?
He's an A tier talent at least, like with I think S tier talent potential, but just gotta see how he continues to settle into Vegas and see if Vegas can continue to get him the help that he desperately needs.
Yep. Next on our list, I know we already talked about him, is Devon Achane. I want to say one thing because I completely forgot. Brett sent me this very interesting stat about him, and since he's next on the list, supposedly, I do want to mention this. Highest missed tackle force rate in the leagues. Devon Achane, 30.2% missed tackles he forced. He's the second highest running back percentage, actually tied with Kenneth Walker at 30.2%. So knowing that too, I mean, a little bit more stock into Kenneth Walker maybe, but new team, so we'll see if that holds. But Devon Achane, just solidifying the point, he's a very good fucking running back.
Dude's agile.
So
that's
yeah,
for sure.
Yep. The first person we haven't gotten to yet, so when we get to that person, I will mention him. He's actually coming up soon. But let's talk about our boys.
Oh God.
Let's talk about the Patriots duo.
It's a love-hate relationship with these
Let's
guys.
talk about
this is gonna be an interesting take. I'm curious where you guys are gonna go.
I'm gonna. Does anybody have a crazy take? I don't think my take's that crazy. I think it's everybody. I think it's all of New England's take.
I think mine's reasonable.
I have a feeling I'm going to be a lot further down than you guys are.
I think Ramondre Stevenson overall is a good running back. I think TreVeyon Henderson is extremely explosive. I think TreVeyon Henderson is very fun to watch. I think he is clearly the running back that needs to get way more work over Ramondre Stevenson, especially seeing Stevenson's fumble issues early on last season. I mean, I think
he cleaned up.
He did clean up, but like by the third or fourth week in the season, we were all calling for Ramondre Stevenson to be cut. So like, I just think TreVeyon Henderson deserves a workhorse RB1 role. Obviously, I know he's a smaller running back and probably can't handle that. However, if he gets like 15 to 20 touches a game, this dude is going to be a fantasy, I don't know, protege maybe. He's going to be amazing. Does he get those consistently? No. And I don't know if Mike Vrabel's going to give him those looks that he deserves this season. I hope he does. But because Mike Vrabel loves Ramondre Stevenson for whatever fucking reason, I just don't think it's going to happen. So that limits Travion Henderson, I think, to a mid to high tier B. Ramondre Stevenson, firmly a C tier, like mid to low end C tier, in my opinion. What do you guys think?
You want to go first, Jay?
Yeah, I think Henderson is like for me personally, mid to low B, with just because of Ramondre Stevenson existing and getting all the touches that he does. Stevenson's just like that guy, like he can get hot. He doesn't stay hot for long, and the Patriots ride him way too past like his hot streak.
Yep.
And that unfortunately does bring down Henderson's value a little bit. I do agree with what you say. I think Henderson has like some of the best like explosiveness in the league. Like, see the big plays that he makes. He has big play potential written all over him.
As a punt returner and kick returner too, like dude is
Yeah.
dangerous.
I would love to see him get more touches. I think until
Absolutely.
he does, I think mid B tier is like his ceiling this year.
Yeah, I agree. Tom, let's hear your crazy take.
All right. Going off the punt returning, you know who's the better punt returner? Number 25, my boy Marcus Jones. All right. But
Not a bad take.
Here's my take with Travion Henderson and Ramondre Stevenson. I agree with you guys. Travion has definitely showed his ability to be a running back number one. He's super explosive. He has a lot of upside potential. I think if you look at their numbers, you'd be a little bit shocked to see that Travion actually ended up with more touches on the season than Ramondre. But I feel kind of like with the Denver guys, you got to handcuff these two players together because they're going to split time. It's going to be probably a 60-40, 50-50 workload just because, like you said, Vrabel does love Stevenson.
Yep.
With us getting A.J. Brown, I don't know how much of a leap our run game has. I definitely think it's going to be more situational based and go dependent on the defense that we're playing that week. But for fantasy purposes, I would be happy with either one of these guys being in my flex. But I would be devastated if they were my RB2. And for that reason, I'd have to put them in C tier. Like fantasy wise, I can't my morals don't allow me to ride New England and tell you that they're the best. They're great, game to game, but for fantasy, New England players are just not the move, and they really haven't been besides Gronk. You know what I mean? Travion did do wonders in our league last year for Noah. I was actually really surprised. He was someone on my watch list for the first couple weeks, and Noah grabbed him before me. But again, I don't think I'd want them anywhere besides my flex week to week, depending on what my team shakes out to be.
Yeah, one thing I'm looking at our stat sheet, I totally missed putting like yards per game. I definitely should have included that. I just did the math. He was only getting 55 yards per game, 9 touchdowns or 10 touchdowns in 17 games. It's like he was a touchdown or bust, basically, it seems like. Unless he got one of those, he ripped a huge play. Travion Henderson, that is. Yeah, I think it's kind of like, I don't even know what other backfield you could compare him to right now. It's just way too much of a split for them both to be RB2 worthy. At least they will have weeks where they'll even be RB1s, depending on the schedule. But yeah, overall, I guess I see that. Please put Ramondre Stevenson behind him. Yeah,
Oh,
that's
yeah,
where he is.
Yeah, 100%. Like I said,
but-
if these guys are in my flex or I have them on my bench, I'm happy with how I drafted, or if I get them off the waiver wire. But there's definitely better options fantasy wise around the league.
there's no way you pick them up off your waiver wire. That would be
No.
absolutely
I
insane.
doubt it.
But
I
yes.
definitely think they're going in the draft. I'm just saying for the people out there that are watching the podcast, if these guys are on your waiver wire, like I would definitely pick them up.
Yeah, unless you're in like a 4-team league.
Yeah.
All right, this is taking a little bit longer than I anticipated it to. We're still in AFC. We got 3 people left. It's funny because I feel like 2 of them are going to draw a lot of discussion. Let's get the quick one out of the way. Jaylen Warren. He's going to actually warrant a little bit of discussion now because Rico Dowdle is now in Pittsburgh. Is Rico Dowdle on the? Yes, he is. Okay. We can talk about both of them. I guess I'll get 2 of them off the screen at the same time. I think Jaylen Warren has the edge on Rico Dowdle, and you want to know why?
Let's hear it.
Because Jaylen Warren is the number 1 leading running back when it comes to highest missed tackle forced rate at 33.9%. Dude, out of every 3 tackles this guy encounters, he's forcing at least one of them to miss. So, like, that is actually an insane stat. And let me see. Thank you for filtering it out. I don't know how they're going to play them. I don't know if it's going to be kind of similar to when Najee Harris and Jaylen Warren were running the duo back there. And Rico Dowdle just takes the place of Najee Harris. But I think Jaylen Warren's production, what he did last season, I think he's going to do that again. And I think Rico Dowdle just plugs in around him, to be honest. So I think Jaylen Warren is a high C, low B tier. And Rico Dowdle's probably lower C tier, in my opinion. Maybe higher C tier. I don't know. I don't think either of them are bad players. I think they're both really good players. It depends on how they are used in the offense.
Yeah, I feel like, man, how long have we been talking about Jaylen Warren? He's gonna have a breakout year. Jaylen Warren, he's gonna be great this year, and I just feel like he hasn't like quite done that yet. Like
Last year was as close as he got. He
It
almost had
is.
1,000 yards last year. If he
did.
didn't miss one game, he missed one game. If he didn't miss that one game, he probably would have had it.
I
He
feel
had
like
958.
he's definitely like the lead back there. Like there's no question for me. Like Warren over Dowdle all day. I think. I'm personally just not a huge fan of Warren. I think I'm okay with C tier, but
Tom?
Both these guys, to me, are RB2s with the upside potential of being RB1s. Like I said, I'm going to refer back to Carolina's season last year. I thought that Rico Dowdle was going to be the backup to Chuba, and after a couple rough starts, he won that starting position and was kind of adapted into their workhorse. I kind of see the same situation kind of playing out in Pittsburgh this year. I think it's really going to just depend. They'll probably split touches. Jaylen Warren will probably start as their main RB1, but I guarantee you Rico will have a breakout week or 2 and he'll start taking more touches away.
Yeah.
This is a tough spot for me on where to put them exactly. Because I would take Travion over both these guys. But also, like, just on last year's production alone, I also think they're both B tier running backs. So could they have taken that slide down to C tier? And I agree. That's probably where I would put them, but I feel a certain type of way about it. It doesn't make me feel good putting him there.
I think one of them, if not both of them, has to regress in some way because they're going to split carries to some
100%.
capacity. And the thing is, like, both of them are good pass catchers. They both basically have 50 targets last year, 50 for Rico, 45 for Jaylen. So,
yeah,
their usage almost literally is a freaking identical. If you give Jaylen Warren the 17th game that Rico played, the difference between them is 25 carries and 5 targets overall for the whole season. So,
yeah,
from a usage standpoint, you're going to see most likely both of those go down because they're both, like you said, respectively really good players. I think Rico Dowdle obviously came out of the woodworks last season with some real explosive games. And I don't think anybody was expecting the success that he had. I don't know if that's a fluke or if that's maintainable, but if he does that in Pittsburgh, there's no way. I don't know. I think Jaylen Warren gets faded out a little bit if he gets that hot again. But yeah, you're right. It's a tough spot to be. I think
Another thing we're not
high C.
Another thing we might not be considering too is Aaron Rodgers is a pass first quarterback, and with having DK Metcalf and Michael Pittman on that team, I don't know how much they're going to rely on that run game.
That's true. Michael Pittman is in Pittsburgh now, huh?
Yeah, along with DK. So, which both to me are wide receiver ones.
Yeah. Okay. Well, we got to put him somewhere. Would you rather have Rico Dowdle and Jaylen Warren on your team, or would you rather have Ramondre Stevenson and Travion Henderson on your team?
I would. So here's the tough thing. I would rather have Henderson than both of them. I would rather have both of these guys than Stevenson.
I agree with that. I like that. All right. I don't think it matters necessarily if you put Rico Dowdle over Jaylen Warren or vice versa on the actual tier list. As long as I just sandwiched in between the Patriots guys, I agree with you.
I'll give it to Dowdle because he had more yards. Like
you
said,
next up,
they're basically the same two guys.
Yeah. Next up for us, Breece Hall. The definition of a great player on a horrible team. He's very similar to Quinshawn Judkins, in my opinion. Shit situation. Supposed to be a really good player. I would love to see him on a good team. I would love to see how good his actual potential is. Not that he had a terrible season last year. He probably goes up from there. I don't know. I hate the Jets. We're Patriots fans. This guy could go to the fucking Shadow Realm for all I care because he's a Jet. And until he's not a Jet, I don't think I'm gonna ever be up on him. I don't think I ever see a world where I actually willingly draft him, solely for the fact that he's on the fucking Jets. So Shadow Realm
maybe if the Jets made the playoffs sometime in the near future, I'd consider drafting him or starting him on my fantasy team. But as of right now, again, he's handcuffed to that Jets team, and I don't see them doing any better than they did last season. So I would say D tier or Shadow Realm.
Yeah, it's another. It's another 4-13 season for the Jets this season, for sure. So
I mean, I do want to I'm not trashing Breece Hall, right? Like he went 243 carries for just over 1,000 yards, but he's not gonna be a big time scorer on fantasy. He only had 5 touchdowns on the season.
Yeah.
So unless you're in a big man PPR league, I'd probably leave him off my draft board.
I think what I would like to say too is Breece Hall, now that he's got a couple seasons under his belt, he's reminding me, or Ashton Genty reminds me a lot of how Breece Hall came into the league. Because Breece Hall was like, this guy's going to be like a top 5 running back. He's going to be a stud, and he's on the worst team in the NFL, basically. And he just has not lived up to that potential. And I feel like the similar storyline's happening with Ashton Genty right now. So hopefully Ashton Genty proves me wrong and the Raiders have their shit together. But you hate to see it. You hate to see talent go to waste on bad teams. Breece Hall, firmly on the low end of the beer tier for me. The beer tier, the B tier.
You say B tier?
B tier. B.
All right,
or Shadow Realm. Or Shadow Realm. Up to you. you decide, Jay.
Yeah, you decide, Jay. No explanation, just do it.
Yep.
Sorry, just to clarify for me one more time. D or B?
That's up to you to decide.
You can sandwich him right in the middle in that C tier.
I feel like he still went for 1,000 yards. Like, I personally think he's at least C tier. Like, I feel like he's one of those guys. Like, can it? I don't know. I mean, it is the Jets, so like, can it get worse than it was last year? It
Probably.
probably can. It probably can.
Probably.
You know, All right. I'll make him the first member of our D tier.
I will say, I don't know. All right, I would totally
too
draft
far?
him over it. I would draft him over the fucking Broncos boys
Me
any
too.
day of the week.
All right.
I would
let's
draft
throw
him over
in-
Ramondre Stevenson. No, you're right. You're right. Do
Yeah,
that.
I would too. All right. His stats are actually kind of very similar to Jalen Warren and Rico Dowdle, so
Yeah,
very,
yeah,
very
I'm fine with
similar.
putting him there.
Like, he had great stats, but he's on the Jets. Like,
He is on the Jets. That is
That-
very
that-
unfortunate.
being on the Jets weighs more heavily to me. Like, it's so much more weighted than being a good in your position.
If he was on a decent team, he could probably be like an A tier running back at least.
100%.
Oh yeah,
Like,
for sure.
It's just so unfortunate he's wasting his career there.
For sure. All right, moving on to the last running back of the AFC. I mentioned his name before. Tom seemed to want to defend him, so I think I want to let Tom give his take first. Tony Pollard. This is like a Shadow Realm contender for me. So, Tom, if you're high on him, I would love to hear what you have to say. Although I don't know if I'm behind. I see you're a little off screen. Here you are. You're back.
Yeah, I'm back. Listen, I understand. Like, we were talking about it before we started the podcast. I understand where you're coming from, but Tony Pollard has been so consistent throughout his
Good
career.
player, shit team. Good player, shit team. That's all I'm going to say. He's in the
100%.
exact same spot as Brees Hall and Quinshon Judkins, and I feel like I keep butchering his name.
I think he's in a better position just
think he
because
is.
of the team he's on. I mean, like, unless Cam Ward has an explosive season and really takes that new leap into his position coming into this season, like, Tony Pollard's gonna be their guy. There's not many options on that team. Like, you're kind of the only gamble or question with Tony Pollard is if Cam Ward is good, which last week none of us were high on Cam Ward.
Yeah.
And I think he's going to be heavily relied on. I think he has potential to be a top 10 running back. If my memory serves me correctly, he was in that 10 to 13 spot for most of last season. I don't see him, like, compared to his numbers last year, 242 carries, just under 1,100 yards, 5 touchdowns. I see him doing those similar numbers. I think he's going to be
Okay.
I definitely would take him over the C tier guys that we have. I think he's a reliable RB2 flex, depending on how big your fantasy league is.
I think I'd take Travion Henderson over him. I think I'd take Rico Dowdle over him. I think I'd take Brees Hall over him. I think I'd take Jalen Warren over him. I think Tony Pollard, I just looked it up. Yeah, you could. What you're saying is not necessarily wrong. The Titans have a bottom 5 offensive line, and Tony Pollard is a great, as a player, he's not bad at all. I'm not saying Tony Pollard's bad. Again, great player, shit team. The Titans suck, dude. The Titans are not going to be good this season. I'm sorry. They're just not. Cam Ward, even if Cam Ward takes a massive leap forward, the Titans get fucking 6 wins. Like, they're not going to be great. So what does that mean for your running back? That means your running back is not going to get more than 5 touchdowns again in the season. From a fantasy perspective, he amassed 1,000 yards. He had 1,082. Divide that by 17. 1,082 divided by 17. That is 63 yards a game. If you're getting 5 touchdowns all year, you're bringing 63 yards to the table. That's 6 points in most leagues, bro. He's got 41 targets. Divide that by 17. What is that? 3 targets a game? He's 2.5 targets a game. From a fantasy perspective, a dude who's getting 63 yards and maybe 2 catches for 15 yards. And 1 out of 3 games, he'll get a touchdown. we're talking RB4 at best. This guy, he's fine. 4.7 yards per carry, or 4.5 rather. Like, that's a pretty efficient running back. But he just simply is not getting the touches where it matters. He's not getting the first downs. He's not getting the goal line touches. If he is, he's not getting it in the end zone. He's not getting goal line receptions. He's not doing anything in the passing game enough to actually make a difference. The Titans are not good. If he takes a step forward, he could be a flex consideration as a starting running back. That is horrible. As a starting running back, you're barely a flex consideration. Shadow Realm his ass, in my opinion. No offense, Tony Pollard. It's your team, bro. It's not you. It's your team. Maybe a little bit of you, but it's mainly your team.
God damn, Austin hates this guy.
Yeah,
I've been burned by Tony Pollard too many times in fantasy. Not in our main league, but just overall. And I will not fall for the same trap again. Fantasy purposes, Shadow Realm his ass. Correct me if I'm wrong, Jay.
So I feel like I'm like in between you guys. Like, I feel like I think I would be okay with having like Tony Pollard as my flex personally, but maybe I'm crazy. I feel like I'm somewhere in between you guys. Like, I
give me
think
8
I'd rather
points a
have
week,
him
maybe. I
over
want
the
8 points.
Broncos guys. I think I agree. I'm probably taking Warren, Breeze, and Dowdle over him, but
you're taking Brees Hall over Tony Pollard.
All day. All day. What are you talking about? All day.
I don't know. That doesn't sit right with me.
You're not going to take Brees Hall over Tony Pollard.
No, he's on the Jets.
I feel like
I would take Ramondre Stevenson over Tony Pollard.
that's pushing it.
Yeah,
Ramondre Stevenson at least got touchdowns.
Tony Pollard has more upside than Ramondre Stevenson.
And Tony Pollard fumbled the ball 4 times last season. Compared to Ramondre Stevenson, that's only 2 less than him. Like, it seems like he's got a little bit of a problem holding on to the ball too. I don't
feel
know.
like he's consistent. Like, he's got 3 years
one
straight
of the
of
most
1,000 yards.
He's one of the most consistent running backs. Like, it's not
Yeah,
like he's.
sure.
I'm not saying that he's in the same category as Derrick Henry or Bijan or any of these elite running backs, but he is so serviceable. Like kind of like Brett said, like he's definitely a flex. I mean, I'd be kind of worried if he was my RB2, depending on what the rest of my team looked like.
Kind of
But
worried.
it depends on what else do I have,
My-
right? Like who's my tight end, who's my QB,
My
who do I
point-
have in receivers? Like I would feel okay with having Pollard on my team as an option to start.
I'm gonna
like-
pull a crazy reference. You know who Tony Pollard is in our modern day league? He's the Frank Gore of today's NFL.
No,
And you
he's
would-
not.
He's not Frank Gore.
He's not
He-
Frank Gore.
He is the consistent 10 points which in our league is like fucking 6 points. All right. He's a consistent 10 points. He's a guy you're not going to get 0 points from. And if you have absolutely nothing better, you're putting him in. That's who Tony Pollard is as a starting running back, in my opinion. I'm sorry. I will die on this Tony Pollard hill. Let's get some Tennessee hate in this motherfucker.
Oh man.
But we're spending too much time on Tony Pollard, so I think he cannot be more than a C tier. He's more D, in my opinion. He could be the first D tier running back on this list. I'd be very happy with it. But you guys, I guess 2 versus 1 here.
I think he's like a low C tier kind of guy, personally.
I'll put him over Bashal Tootin solely because I don't know enough about Tootin. So I guess if it's between him and Tootin, I would take Pollard over Tootin.
This take makes me want to throw up. My stomach is turning right now.
Bro, I don't even want to talk about it. Okay. right,
And I
whatever.
did
We talked about it.
Shadow Realm Tajay Spears because I feel like he's not even worth discussing.
I 100% agree with that.
Yeah. For sure. Now that we're on to the NFC, can we just get the 2 rookies out of the way real quick?
Yes.
Do either of you watch college? Do you guys know anything about these guys, Jeremiah Love
No.
or
Do we,
Jadarian Price?
I know there's a lot of hype around one of them. I don't remember which one it is, if I'm being brutally honest.
I think it's Jeremiah Love is the most hyped one. I think I see him going like I think top 10 running backs off the board. I mean, Arizona's running back room, they just got Tyler Algier. Tyler Algier is a pretty solid RB2 on a team. I think, he's going to definitely take away touches. I don't know how good the Cardinals running back room's going to be. I don't know. I don't think their O-line's very good. They all got like fucking shattered last season. They had like 4 running backs out at the same time. I hope that doesn't happen again, but if that, means anything about their offensive, and then Kyler Murray was hurt too. That's why Jacoby Brissett took over in the first place, because Kyler Murray was hurt. So like their O-line need to figure it the fuck out before I could put any of these guys above a B personally. I'm not drafting Jeremiah Love because of that.
Yeah, I wouldn't
I
take him
crazy?
as my RB1 like I feel like it seems people are doing. I mean, I guess we could easily just create like a rookie or we need to watch
Rookie
more college
category.
football tier.
Maybe priority handcuff we change to
Yeah, that's a good call, I think.
need to see more / rookie.
Rookie.
And honestly, if we're gonna do that, then can we put Tootin in that tier too? Because
I'm fine with that, yeah.
genuinely don't know anything about the guy.
All right, Jeremiah Love going in the rookie / need to see more.
And then we can do the same with Jadarian Price probably. He's going to be the Seattle running back they just drafted. I don't know if there's with Zach Charbonnet how that's going to work. Is Zach Charbonnet on this tier list?
He sure is.
On the screen?
There
he is.
I believe that is Zach Charbonnet, right?
Yes, it is.
Looks like him.
He was honestly as a RB2, he's been really good. He was like Tony Pollard to what's his face? Derrick Henry for a while, I feel like. Solid backup. I don't know how he does an RB1 role. I don't know if they give him the RB1 role. I don't know if it's immediately going to Jadarian Price or not. I feel like Zach Charbonnet, I also would have to put in the same category because I don't know where to put him from a fantasy perspective. I don't know who's going above who. I think the depth chart I was looking at when I put together this tier list that we're looking at, not on stream, off stream, they had Zach Charbonnet listed as the RB1. I just think that Jadarian Price is likely to take over RB1 duties as soon as he, warms up to it.
I think the one thing that I have to give to Charbonnet is he scored 12 times last year.
Yeah, he was a vulture to Kenneth Walker. He's always been Kenneth Walker's vulture, to be honest.
He had 8 the year before that. Man, he is a vulture. Holy shit.
Yeah. So like I'm firmly like he's at least a C tier, Zach Charbonnet. If he's RB1, I would even like to see him in a B tier.
Yeah.
But I just don't know what that dynamic's gonna play out as. So I need to see more personally.
I'm cool with throwing him and need to see more. I think like you said, we need to see how that dynamic's gonna work between the two.
Yep.
Charbonnet did get injured in February, and currently he has no projected timeline of when he's coming back. So for fantasy purposes, like he's definitely a late lottery pick, in the hopes that he comes back healthy. It's definitely someone to make your team stronger. But for the purposes of like going at the preseason, what we know now going into the season, I wouldn't really consider him a viable option for your team. So I would shadow realm him for this year.
Shadow realm, you think? I was not aware of the injury, if I'm being honest.
I forgot about his injury. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, that happened. Did that happen in the Super Bowl or was it the NFC Championship?
I don't know. It was one or the other.
Anyways, I don't think you can shadow realm him.
Well,
I think we need to see how he comes back.
But all I'm saying is like he's gonna miss substantial time, so he's not worth the draft pick. Other than
the
like
end of it. Yeah,
lottery hopes, you know what I mean?
Fair.
Like,
that's fair. Yeah. All right, I'll accept it.
All right, I added / injury in there because
Perfect.
I think that's a little bit more fair for him.
Bijan Robinson's already covered. Chubber. Oh my goodness. Chuba Hubbard.
Chuba Hubbard. Where is?
I know Tom's about to make the.
He's still in Carolina.
Tom's about to make the
second row
argument that he's S tier.
Second on the left.
Yep, he's got his picture mounted on as well. He looks at it every night before he goes to sleep. He gives him a nice little goodnight kiss right on the forehead.
I love Chuba Hubbard. I drafted him because I thought his name was funny. his rookie season. He also was a no picture guy going into the fantasy season. And I have just fallen in love with him. I've drafted him every year. I will continue to draft him. Last year, I drafted him with my first round draft pick in that 12th spot.
And
Obviously,
that's why
I was
he lost the fantasy football championship.
and I was disappointed based off of what went down with Rico Dowdle in Carolina. But the good thing about Chuba going into this year is he's not competing with anybody. He is
Whoa,
their wide receiver or running back
What
one.
about Jonathan Brooks?
Jonathan Brooks.
What about him?
He's back, baby. His ACL is hopefully not gonna tear again.
Jonathan Brooks hasn't played consistently like ever.
I mean, he's been hurt his entire time being in the league.
And he's going to continue to be hurt. Like he's not even a blip on the radar.
You gotta give the man a chance.
Absolutely not.
If he doesn't tear his ACL in preseason, he could be somebody.
No,
Chuba Hubbard. I don't disagree with you. If he maintains RB1 status the whole time, he's a lead back. He's getting 20 carries a game or 20 touches overall. I have seen it. He has been a serviceable top 10 running back in fantasy before.
My man
that might just be our league. I don't know. There's no way.
No, in regular leagues he's serviceable too.
Hold on. What I'm saying, there's no way I take Chuba Hubbard over anybody in B, A, or S. He's got to be the leader of C.
No, absolutely not.
There's absolutely no way I take Chuba
Absolutely
Hubbard
not.
over any of those guys, bro.
And that's why. Well, you're not going to get him anyways because I'm drafting him. He's my guy. All right.
I got
Nobody
the third
gets
overall,
my board
bro.
besides me.
I could do it
Waste your
just to
third
meme you.
overall.
I could do it just to meme
Go
you.
ahead. And I guarantee you by the end of the season, unless you do it out of spite, you'll be trading him back to me.
Yeah, you'll be sending me
Chuba
fucking
Hubbard
terrible
will be
trade
on my fantasy team every year.
I'll tell you what. I'll draft him, and then I'll let you give me a draft pick for him. I'll trade you for a fucking pick. That's the only way you'll get him.
This is my thing. This is the other thing about Chuba too. Is shout out to our boy Mike. Right, he loves to say it. Chuba gets garbage time points, even when Carolina is out and you don't think you're going to score any more points. Chuba finds a way. He gets you those points. He is a 20-point average, in our league, which puts him around like a 12-point average in regular leagues.
Which 12 points in regular leagues is C tier.
No.
C tier. I'm taking Breece Hall over Chuba Hubbard.
I'm telling you, he's taking a jump this year. He's going to be the guy.
I'm taking TreVeyon Henderson over Chuba Hubbard.
I know I'm not going to win this battle. This is a losing battle for me. All right. I understand. But what I'm telling you is he is the number one sleeper every year, guaranteed.
All right. Until his backup outshines him again for the second year in a row. We'll see.
It's not going to happen.
Chuba's not a bad player. Again, just saying.
I may consider taking him over.
Chuba, come to New England.
I don't think
over everybody
in C tier. Maybe not Henderson. I don't think I'd take him over anybody in B tier personally.
There's no shot. I think he's head of C tier, bro. Tom's unhappy.
I think the potential is there more than other guys in C tier, with, again, maybe the exception for Henderson. So,
Jade, place him.
Is right next to Rico Dowdle.
Place him.
So here's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking we can either put him with Henderson at the lead of C tier, or move Henderson up to B tier and put Hubbard at the end of B tier.
Move him up. Both B tier running backs. Put them up.
I don't know, man. Yeah, whatever. Jay, you make the decision, man. I trust you. I don't trust Tom's bias ass.
If it was up to me, Chuba would be an A tier running back. I know I'm not going to win that battle. If I can get the settle and get him in the B tier, I'm okay with him being in last. But I'm telling you, put some respect on my boy's name. He's going to surprise everybody this year. This is his year.
All right. There you have it. It's Chuba's year. Let's hope it's the Panthers' year. Let's not hope, but good luck.
It'd be a cool story.
It would be a cool story, bro. Tell it again. DeAndre Swift, Chicago Bears. I think he's got all the talent in the world. I think he performs a little inconsistently from a fantasy standpoint. Kyle Monangai is a dog behind him who's vulturing a lot of his potential. However, DeAndre Swift, I think, was like a top 12 in our league, at least fantasy wise, the entire season. Being top 12 all season, probably still going to maintain top 15-ish status going into next season. DeAndre Swift's a B tier running back for me.
Yeah. I'm pretty. I don't know if high is the right word. I definitely feel better about Swift going into this year, like more so than I have any other year of his career. And he had 1,000 yards. He almost had 10 touchdowns. He was involved in the passing game. Like it was definitely a standout year for him.
For sure. As a fantasy owner of his last season, I was pretty happy with him. I was not. There was a couple. Again, he's inconsistent. Sometimes there's games where Kyle Monangai absolutely takes off, and DeAndre Swift is getting 10 carries for 30 yards. But that only happens like 3 out of the 4, maybe out of the 17 games. So
yeah,
hard B.
I think I'm fine with kind of middle of the pack B.
I don't disagree with you guys.
But I'm taking Chuba Hubbard
over. I'm just throwing this out here. I'm just throwing it out here, and this is just my gut. I have a feeling DeAndre Swift will not be with the Bears by the end of the season. I have a feeling he's going to get traded.
Yeah, where do you think he's going to get traded to? Insider.
I don't know where he gets traded to. I just have a feeling he's going to get traded. I mean, this is his last year on contract. Next year, he's an unrestricted free agent. I have a feeling that with how productive he's been and how much upside he has, the Bears are going to try to get as much as they can before they let him walk.
They would be really smart to do that, actually, because Kyle Monangai is going to be a stud.
Yeah, and I don't see them re-signing him just because of the talent they have there, unless they can get him for something cheap. And based off of, potential trade speculation on my part, I don't know, like, where I would take him, like, over or below certain guys within the B tier. But he, like you said, he has all the talent in the world. I just feel like he's not going to be a Bear for much longer.
I could actually see that. I think you bring up a pretty good point. However, just because he's going to get traded that's not necessarily a bad thing.
No, 100% definitely not a bad thing. But you also, again, it's pure speculative. Like, you don't know what situation he's going to go into. Obviously, going in with the hopes that he remains with the Bears, like, I don't see his production dropping off from what he put up last year.
It's just a matter of how much of the work gets deferred to Kyle Monangai.
Right, and that's kind of where I'm hesitant on DeAndre Swift. Definitely wouldn't be upset if he was my RB2 or flex.
Absolutely not.
But I'm definitely not trying to take him any higher. I'm curious where ESPN has him at.
He's going around 50 or so. He's going right around where Montgomery is going.
DeAndre Swift average draft position is 71.5.
Oh, 71. Wow.
Yeah. So you're looking in a 10 to 12 man league, round 6, round 7, which
that's pretty good.
That's pretty good. I think that's fair.
I would actually
league, he's definitely going to go higher. I definitely think he's going higher in our league, but
he's not leaving the 4th round in our league. Absolutely no way.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like that was exactly where I thought he was going to be drafted, like 4th round. But Kyle Monangai, average draft position 123. Based off of this conversation, like I said, I think those numbers are going to be kind of flopped, but we'll see what happens.
Yep. I actually think I took DeAndre Swift my 3rd overall pick, 3rd round in the 3rd round last season, because I had Jamar Chase, Chase Brown, and then DeAndre Swift as my twin-headed running back duo. That would have been fire if Joe Burrow was healthy all season. Anyways, Javonte Williams. Let's move on to them boys, Cowboy. Oh, wait, actually, real quick. I see Kyle Monangai on the tier list screen. Should we place him real quick?
Just go to sleep. You want to be
yeah.
Is this Monangai right here?
Yeah. I think
need to see more.
he's his talent is easily right next to DeAndre Swift, but
yeah,
need to see more before from a fantasy standpoint. I'm taking him as a priority handcuff for sure. Javonte Williams, this man had a crazy season last year in comparison to his career. 1,200 rushing yards, 11 rushing touchdowns, 2 receiving touchdowns. I mean, 51 targets for 137 overall receiving yards, pretty whack. However, the Cowboys fucking suck, man. So, like, this guy is going to continue to be a workhorse. He's going to continue to get the targets. He's going to continue to just do what he does in the goal line. So I think Javonte Williams is going to have a season very similar to last season. Their offense, the Cowboys only know how to play offense. They don't know how to play defense. So I think from a rushing standpoint, he'll do really good in the first half of games, and then they're going to be pass heavy in the second half, trying to catch up most of the time. If I would like to see him catch more than, I don't know. He only averaged 3.9 yards per reception. So if he could double that I would be really happy with him as my RB1. I'd be happy with Javonte Williams as an RB1. I think he might be an A-tier running back based off last season.
Yeah, I think you definitely got to give him props from last year. It may not be the most thrilled if he's my RB1, but I would be pretty happy with him as an RB2 kind of guy.
Absolutely. If he's my RB2, I'm winning the fucking championship, I think. Depending on who my RB1 is, if you can get like Jahmyr Gibbs and Javonte Williams as your second RB, you are living very pretty. However, there's no way Javonte Williams falls to the end of the second round.
Yeah.
What's his ADP? Anybody have it pulled up?
Overall,
I can.
Yeah, go ahead. I think you've got a.
I can try to find it. Give me a sec. I'm just going pure off of fantasy on.
Yeah, same. Brett's like Javante's a TD merchant. He absolutely is.
Average draft position 37.6.
So yeah,
the
second round, third round,
like third round, mid third round.
There.
I think that's kind of low for him. I mean, at least for our scoring purposes, it's low in a PPR. Super boost, big play.
Are we thinking I would maybe rounding out A tier?
I think so. I mean, listen, like it's the Dallas Cowboys, right? They're not going to go to the playoffs, but for fantasy, they're going to put up numbers. He's going to get his touches. There's no question about it. I'd be okay with having Javonte Williams.
Now I'm just looking at the. I think I take Chase Brown over him. I think so. I think a lot of people are going to get mad at us for not having Ashton Genty over him.
I mean, that's what I do agree. Ashton Genty, I definitely would take over Javonte Williams, but Javonte Williams is still a great guy to have.
Yeah.
Like I said,
again, if he's your RB2, you're ecstatic.
Yeah. And I think Javonte is also just like in a much better situation right now than Gianti is, at least from like an offensive talent perspective.
Absolutely.
Like the Cowboys suck, but their offense is probably still going to score a lot of points.
I will never talk shit about the offense of the Cowboys.
Yeah.
The Cowboys consistently have like a top 5 offense in the league. It's just their defense can never hang.
Yep.
So moving on, we already did Jahmyr Gibbs, Josh Jacobs on the Packers. My man. I don't know who his backup is, Marshawn Lloyd. I don't know if that's a rookie or not. I don't know if we're concerned with him taking carries from him, but Josh Jacobs is just an absolute workhorse so far in his career. And I don't know if that changes much. I think he might have been hurt a little bit last season. Let me.
I feel like you're correct with
pull
that.
him up. I mean, he missed 2 games, so not terribly. Oh my god! Wow. Okay, hold on. Touchdown machine. He had 14 touchdowns receiving and rushing. He only had 929 rushing yards in 15 games. 44 targets, 282 receiving yards. That's not terrible. That's actually pretty good. I mean, I didn't realize he was actually that kind of involved in the passing game, but I guess I would want to see more out of him in Green Bay. I thought he was I will say I thought he was going to be a much better fantasy asset in Green Bay than he turned out to be. But he is a touchdown machine, and you can't discredit that. So for like regular fantasy leagues, he's definitely better than in our league. So with that in consideration, he's got to be like high end B tier. I feel like mid B tier, high
He's
end
a
B
solid
tier.
RB2 in regular fantasy.
I think I would take him if we're looking at the B tier list, maybe lower end from what we have now. I think I definitely take him over like David Montgomery. I don't know if I take him over DeAndre Swift.
I will say he is going higher than Williams. Like he's going ADP like 20, give or take.
Did they have any coaching changes or anything that I'm not aware of that
I don't think
would
so.
lean more towards the run? Because I feel like they're a relatively neutral offense. I don't think Jordan Love throws the ball a ton. I just don't. Also, I mean, he only had 234 carries last season, so in 15 games, 234 divided by 15, we're looking at 15 carries a game. That's a solid workload, actually.
Yeah, I feel like
I don't know.
I wanted to see more out of the entire Packers offense last year. Like
Yeah,
we said it last week when we were talking about Jordan Love. Like I think we all expected the Packers to be way better than they wound up being.
I think they're just the definition of a good team.
Yeah,
They're not great. They're not phenomenal. They're not bad by any means. I think they're just good. I think Josh Jacobs is just a good running back. And I think good lines you in the center of B tier.
and say, do we want to?
I'm not gonna lie. Looking at his numbers from last season on fantasy for our league, I think I'd be okay with having him on like a fringe RB1. I mean, they have him at ADP at 26, so you're looking at top of the third round, latest. I really was kind of neutral based off of this take, just because I don't watch a lot of Packers games. But
Yeah.
looking at what he did for our league last year, especially during basically all but like 4 weeks, he was super consistent. I might be okay with him being my wide receiver 1, depending on what's left on the board.
Your wide receiver 1 is crazy. Josh Jacobs is your wide
I
receiver
apologize.
1.
All right. Listen, it's
I
getting
know,
to
I'm
that
just-
point in the night.
I'm just fucking with you, brother.
Running back 1, I think I'd be okay with having him.
Yeah.
I might have to. Obviously, like I said, we still got a little bit to go through the list. We're probably gonna move guys around, but I think he is high B, low A tier running back.
I feel like
Would you draft Omari and Hampton over him?
Potentially.
Over who? Oh, yes.
Yeah. I think
But that's just because I'm big on Omari and Hampton going into the season. Now, if we're just going based off of last year's stats, no. But I think that Omari and Hampton's going to be the steal of the draft this year. I think he's going to be the guy.
I think that is our answer. High B tier.
I was
is
gonna
good
say,
for
I
me.
think I'm comfortable putting him right around where Giancy is right now.
There's still a few big names we still have to get
There
through.
are.
So the top tiers are definitely going to get rounded out soon.
Yeah.
But before I know the next person is not this person that I want to bring up. I want to bring up who Josh Jacobs replaced in Green Bay via trade. Aaron Jones on the Vikings. Aaron Jones only played 12 games last season, so when you look at his stats, please keep that in mind. Aaron Jones basically just another good running back, man. Nothing. I mean, now that he's getting into his later years, but like, I don't know. I feel like you're starting to see a little bit of a decline with him. He's not healthy for the whole season. He's a good running back when he's on the field. I don't know how much he's going to be on the field, and his workload last season kind of dipped too. 132 carries in 12 games. That's just over 10 carries a game. That might be 11 carries a game. It's not really crazy. They got Jordan Mason behind him. Jordan Mason, another pretty solid RB2 to have on your real life team. So he's going to continue to kind of vulture things. I don't have his stats up on the stat sheet. I should have added them. But yeah, I think Aaron Jones he could be. I think I would take Chuba Hubbard over Aaron Jones, low key. I don't know if Aaron Jones stays healthy all season, so I could see him being very NB tier. I could see him high C tier.
I think I'd almost take a lot of guys in C tier over him.
Yeah,
I'm with you guys.
I agree with you.
He's definitely C tier. I really don't see how much value you're going to get out of him based off of his, history of missing games. Same thing with Jordan Mason. I wouldn't mind handcuffing these two together too, just because there's a lot of question marks about how much time they're gonna miss, who's gonna get those touches over the other. I think they lead the C tier. I think they have great trade value, occasional flexed opportunity, but mostly are going to be sitting on the bench depending on how big your league is.
Not gonna
Yeah,
lie,
I agree with that.
I think I'd take Tony Pollard over both of them.
I 100% agree.
Whoa, would I do that?
I agree. Aaron Jones, just for reference, ADP on Aaron Jones is 118. Jordan Mason is at 147.
Where was
Yikes.
Tony Pollard? Just out of curiosity, do you know?
He must
let
be
me-
like 70.
Let me double
right?
check. Tony Pollard 87. So you're talking
Wow.
5 rounds ahead.
Everybody's taking Tony Pollard over Aaron Jones.
Yeah.
All right, Aaron Jones. I think his ass is going to the shadow realm. I don't know. I think
I don't know about the
think his
shadow
name-
realm.
No,
is
well,
it
the
time
thing
for him
is-
to retire?
The thing is, it's his name that's carrying the value, but when you see
That's
what
what I'm
saying.
actually
You
getting
are
with
correct.
him, it's not it. So I was
That's
totally
you're
just deceived
getting-
by his name. So
You're getting trade value from him. And that's
Yeah.
it.
yeah, maybe I'm
Do we want to
okay
make
with him
these
being D
guys our
tier.
first
I'm okay with
D
that.
tier RBs?
I think so.
Yeah.
I think so.
Like you
Um,
said, the value is all in the name now. Like he's 32 now. Like he's got a year or two left in him if he can even stay
Yeah,
healthy.
he's no Derrick Henry when it comes to longevity and staying king. I'll tell you that.
He played 5
Um,
games last year. Draft him and trade him right away. 'Cause he's probably gonna get hurt.
No cap. All right, we'll go over the name that I just skipped, and it happens to be a duo, a pretty good duo. Kyren Williams and Blake Corum. I've drafted Blake Corum both seasons he's been in the league so far, hoping he was going to be a stud. He was not a stud the first year. Last year, we've seen him take a lot of work away from Kyren Williams. However, Kyren Williams, at least for our league, still, I think, put up a finish like top 10 or top 11 in our league. So I'm high on both of these guys, to be honest. I think Kyren Williams is still an elite talent. I think Blake Corum is also an elite talent that's emerging, but I don't think he's ever going to become an RB1 unless Kyren Williams gets hurt. So Blake Corum's for sure a must-have handcuff, like must-have. Kyren Williams, I think, I would take him over everybody in the B tier. I don't know if I'm putting him in the A tier, but he's definitely high-end B tier for me.
I'm taking Chuba over Kyren Williams.
Yeah, you're never winning a
Taking
Chuba
championship.
over Kyren Williams?
Hell yeah, I am.
That's crazy to
You're-
me. I'm not
you're
gonna
crazy.
lie.
I mean,
I don't even need to look at Kyren's
stats. I get where you're coming from. I also agree. Like, he's definitely serviceable. He's on the Rams. He's a great option. Obviously, with everything going off the field this year with Puka Nacua, we don't really know how that's going to shake out for them. So I could see him getting more involved in the offense than he already is.
He had.
I got to cut you off.
Yeah, go ahead. I think we're
He's
looking at the
firmly
same
A.
thing.
I'm looking at his stats. He's firmly fucking A tier. There's no way he's not A tier. Kyren Williams, 1,252 yards rushing, 10 rushing touchdowns, 281 receiving yards on 50 targets, 3 receiving touchdowns for a total of 13. If we're putting Javonte Williams in the A tier, there's no fucking way Kyren Williams is not in the A tier. And that's with Blake Corum vulturing 145 carries, 746 yards, 6 rushing touchdowns, and only 14 targets. So Kyren Williams is clearly the pass catching back out of this backfield, and I don't think Kyren Williams has had a bad fantasy year.
But if you look at the week to week stats, he only averages about 50 yards and 15 to 20 yards receiving on 2 receptions. Like,
Yeah, but he's getting a touchdown in almost every game. 13 out of 17 he's got a touchdown in, right?
no.
No, but that's what the numbers suggest. That's the pacing. I'm saying. I'm not looking at his actual game log. But if not, yeah, he might have a little bit of the same kind of deal. When you have a split backfield like that, obviously one running back's going to have a better day than the other one. But when Kyren Williams has his day, dude, he's probably putting up 40 plus points. He's probably getting 2 rushing touchdowns, 100 yards.
You want to take a guess at what his max points in our league was last year?
In our league,
Yep.
28.
since you're saying this, I'm gonna assume it's not even in the 40s. I'm gonna assume it's like 38.
It's 35. That was his max points, and that was week 5 versus the 49ers.
Real quick, just list out some of his totals, just like in a succession from week 5 to week 15.
All right.
Just the points.
35,
just the points.
20,
Yeah.
12, 30, 28, 22 and a half, 8, 18 and a half, 24, 26, 16, and that's through week 16.
Okay, there's only 12 and 8 are the only two numbers I don't like. Every other number is a very serviceable good number. So I'm
not disagreeing with you. But for me, for a wide receiver or for a running back number 1, like I want 20 plus points week in, week out. I don't know if I can account for.
There's only like 3 total running backs that you can bank on. You're definitely getting 20 plus because everybody else also has down games. There's no way everybody's 20 plus every single game unless you're Jahmyr Gibbs or CMC or Bijan Robinson. Spoiler alert: CMC's an S-tier running back. Yes, he still is today too. I'm saying it.
We'll get to him, but Kyren Williams, I feel like he had a very similar, at least stat-wise, year to Javonte Williams, and he's had more history of doing it, like, with consistency.
Yeah. He's also on a winning team, so that goes a long way, too.
One of the best offensive lines in football, too.
Yeah, Kyren Williams, A tier for me. Blake Corum, absolutely must have handcuff. If Blake Corum, I would play him as a flex option some weeks, depending on schedule. Like, even if I had both of them on my team, I'd play both of them. And if they're up against, like, I don't know, the Jets or something, absolutely.
All right, I think we've got 2 votes for A tier.
Yep.
Let's slot them there for now.
Sorry, Tom, your takes are trash. I'm kidding. They're not trash. They're just not as good as ours. Travis Etienne.
I'm Josh Jacobs put up similar numbers, but onto Etienne for sure.
Yeah, we're on to Etienne, Mr. I'm taking over RB1 for Alvin Kamara in New Orleans. I wonder how excited Brett is about that. Travis Etienne, we already talked about him. He's a fucking dog.
He is a dog. He did great work in Jacksonville last year.
I think he's going to
be a lot better this year.
I was about to say I think he's going to a better team. I don't think he's going to a better team. The Saints are nowhere near a better team than the Jaguars. I think
he's going to a worse team, which means his production numbers are going to be up.
Well, I think Alvin Kamara obviously has been down as he's getting older. However, he's also still a dog. So I think you're going to see what Alvin Kamara and Mark Ingram, that duo back when Kamara was a rookie and sophomore. I think you're going to see a similar situation like that between Etienne and Kamara as Kamara steps into like an Ingram role. I think they're both I think Kamara's going to have a better fantasy season this year because of Etienne. I think they're just going to bounce off each other, which is crazy. I just think from an efficiency standpoint, Kamara's going to get better. And Etienne's going to be fine. So I don't think either of them are A tier running backs. I think Kamara is definitely a tier below Etienne. I think the appropriate tiering would be Etienne B and Kamara C.
I think that's fine. I think we're going to see Etienne regress a little bit in both aspects of his game. Not because the talent isn't as good, but he was playing ahead a lot in Jacksonville last year. I feel like we're going to see the Saints playing down a lot, so he may not see as many attempts per game. And I feel like Kamara is still probably going to be the primary receiving back, at least. Etienne's definitely going to take control of the overall rushing game, I think.
Brett, the number 1 Saints fan in the world, also agrees with you. He literally just said that in the chat.
Oh, yeah, there we go.
15 to 20 touches, Kamara will be the pass catcher, so you're on it.
I think what you said is actually pretty fair, like Etienne B tier, Kamara C tier. I guess that could maybe change a little bit if it's like a full PPR league, but
I want Brett's opinion on that. Brett, what do you think about those tierings? B tier for Etienne, C tier for Kamara?
What are your thoughts, Tom, on these two?
I'm a little bit higher on Etienne, but I also agree. I think he kind of sits. I think I would probably take him above Chase Brown. I don't know if I would take him over Ashton Genty though.
Yeah, no way.
So probably
Brett says
high
that
B
sounds
tier.
right.
Sounds
Our
about
inside
right.
scout from New
Alright.
Orleans.
I'm gonna throw him like mid here.
Yeah, we'll finalize that after.
Yeah, we will.
Although, wow, it's already 8:52. We're approaching 9 o'clock, so we should try and speed this up a little bit. But we
almost
got
there.
some easy ones. We
We're
got some
almost
easy
there.
ones coming
We
up.
do.
I think this next guy, Cam Scatabo. I think Scatabo is going to be an absolute fucking legend.
I
in
love
the NFL.
Scatabo.
The new look Giants after last season, they're amazing. I look at Jackson Dart and Cam Scatabo together, and I get the most Blue Mountain State vibes ever from them, and I'm absolutely here for it. However, with that being said, bro's gonna have more concussions by the third season than fucking Gronk had. So like,
Yeah.
he's got to be careful. Same with Jackson Dart. They're both playing. They literally play like it's fucking backyard football. It's crazy. I love it. I absolutely love it. But they're gonna kill themselves up there. So I would like to see them tone it down a little bit. Their potential is to the moon. Absolutely to the moon. They could be S tier one day. That day is not today. We have to see how they come back from their injuries. I would
Yeah.
firmly put Scatabo probably low end B tier for now. But if he's available in like the 4th round and I'm looking for a running back 5th round, maybe like I'm taking Cam Scatabo without a doubt.
Oh, absolutely. Like you said, he's so much fun to watch. The biggest question is just, can he stay on the football field all 17 games? If he can, he's
Yeah.
at least an A tier guy, but there is that big question mark, just with
Yep.
purely off of his style of play.
I
Right.
don't disagree with you guys. I think that Scatabo has the potential to be an S tier, high A tier running back, but he's out here trying to play NFL blitz.
Yes, he is.
I have the over under on 6 games, whether or not he's going to make it past that. I wouldn't take him very high off the draft board. I feel like it's going to be. It's kind of like CMC, right? If CMC's there, you got to take him.
Mhm.
But it's a matter of how much production are you going to get out of him? How valuable is he going to be before he inevitably gets injured? So I don't disagree with you guys, but I also feel like he's kind of in that need to see more category just because of what we saw last year with the injuries and how his play style is handled.
Yeah. All right. Let's throw Cam Scatabo in the B tier and let's move on because I want to move on to CMC real quick because you just talked about him. CMC played all 17 games last season. I think that's the first time he's done that.
First time in his career.
And let me tell you, he came back. His efficiency wasn't phenomenal. He only averaged 3.9 yards per carry, but guess what? He's one of like 4 or 5 running backs to get over 300 carries. The guy's right back into his workhorse role that he's always been known for. He's getting 129 targets, 102 receptions, more catches than most wide receivers. That's an S tier wide receiver target number right there.
He had,
so like
more than 2,000 yards of scrimmage last year.
Yeah, and that's CMC every season. It feels like. So like if CMC is fully healthy, there's no world he's not an S tier running back. The only concern is can he play all 17 games again this season? That is the only thing that's stopping me from drafting CMC 3rd overall in our fantasy football draft is I don't know if he will stay healthy all 17 games. I think because of that, I want to use the same logic that we use though for Joe Burrow on the quarterback tier list because we did end up putting him in an S tier quarterback because I think when Joe Burrow is the healthiest quarterback in the game, he's the best quarterback. I think the same thing said for Christian McCaffrey. When he's the healthiest or when he's a healthy running back, he's the greatest running back in the game. So I want to put CMC in the S tier.
I agree.
He's an S tier guy, yeah, for sure. If he stays healthy, he's easily running.
I thought Tom was going to
back
fight
too.
the fuck out of me on that.
No,
So
I
I'm
mean,
glad.
I think he only stayed healthy because I drafted him in the 2nd round last year.
We got him in the second
Yeah.
round last year.
I
Dude,
got him in the
nobody
second
wanted to touch
round.
CMC, bro. Nobody
true.
wanted
You're
him.
not wrong.
I had the 12th pick. I took Chuba in the first, and I took CMC in the second.
Could you
And
imagine? Could you imagine that CMC got drafted after Chuba Hubbard? Disgraceful.
listen, his ADP 6. I think that's where I don't think he's ever been lower than that for his whole career. The man's a dog. He's an S tier running back when he's healthy. But it's like Scatabo. It's how long is he going to stay healthy? I don't see him lasting another 17 games this year. I'm hoping for like 14. But I wouldn't be shocked if he has a season-ending injury earlier on. I'd have to look at their schedule and see what that looks like to kind of really equal it out. But I have no arguments. He's an S tier guy.
Sure is.
If he's
This
not,
next
then who
guy-
is?
Well, let's talk about him. The dude who reverse hurdles over defenders, the Madden 2025 cover athlete, Saquon Barkley. Man, what a regression last season. However, what
Yeah.
I will say, and I saw the stat a few years ago, so I might butcher this a little bit. Derrick Henry is the only running back to date to have a season over 2,000 yards and not regress dramatically afterwards. Like his follow-up season, he still rushed. I think he was the leading rushing rusher in the league again. He's the only running back to do that. Just like statistically speaking, running backs who have an explosive year, like highest of their career, they always have a down season the season after. Derrick Henry is the only exception to that. So I think Saquon Barkley, even looking at his season last year, he still had he's still an A-tier guy. There's no way he's not. 1,140 rushing yards, average 4.1 yards per carry, 7 rushing touchdowns, 273 receiving yards on 50 targets, 2 receiving touchdowns. Sure, he didn't put up 2,000 rushing yards like the year before, but he's still over 1,000 yards rushing. I think he takes another step forward this year, and yeah, 280 carries. If he gets that again, I think his efficiency, you'll see it go up a little bit more. What do you guys think?
I think the biggest question I have right now is Saquon Barkley or Jonathan Taylor. Like who would y'all rather have?
Fantasy wise, I think I'm sticking with Jonathan Taylor.
Yeah, I mean, he's definitely RB1. He's an A-tier guy. This may be crazy. I don't think so. I think I'd take James Cook over Saquon.
After last season, I don't think that's a crazy take.
It's not a crazy take. It's
I think
reasonable.
I think Barkley is he's like I said again. He's still an RB1. I think he's just a little bit of a risky take, just because we don't know if his best days are behind him. I mean, he's getting up there in age.
That's fair.
It seems like the Eagles had their best days in the past. Who knows what that looks like, right? Can the offensive line stay healthy? How much more are they going to rely on him with AJ Brown not being there? So he's definitely an A-tier guy. I don't know. There's a lot of question marks and variables. I take James Cook over him.
Yeah, I'm with you. As long as I think he's still mid to high end A tier, so
100%.
I think that lands him there. I think I take Saquon. I think I take Derrick Henry over Saquon. I think I might even take A-Chain over Saquon, just
Now
because
you're high.
Tom's.
You're
bro,
going a
nah.
little bit too far.
I don't
now
know.
you're high.
If you're just looking at last season's stats, bro, A-Chain was a top 3 running back, bro. If he does that again, how do you let that slip? So like,
I don't think he's going to do it again.
Saquon took a huge step back, bro, and there is a concern. Is he going to move forward? Is he going to step back? Is he going to what's his trajectory? I think he steps it up a little bit. He's definitely not doing 2,000 yards again. I don't think he's doing 1,500 yards like A-Chain just did last season. I think A-Chain has a real possibility of repeating a similar season as last season due to who the fuck else on the Dolphins are going to do it. They need to move the ball. Who's going to move it? It's only going to be Devon A-Chain. So I think Saquon might fall under A-Chain. Absolutely above Kyron Williams and Javonte Williams. There's absolutely no doubt on my mind about that. But he might be below the top 6, top 7.
Jay, I think you did a phenomenal job placing him. I think
That's
right
where I
where you
have
put
him
him is-
personally too.
that's where I have him.
I'm
Let's
still
clip it.
taking him over
Let's
King
clip it.
Henry,
Let's get
Devon Achane.
let's get the Philly haters or the Philly hate going. We'll clip it and put it on TikTok and see what they say. We'll settle it
All right.
that way.
Just to give you guys a time check, we're at 9:02, so we might want to pick a
Yeah, all
pace
right,
of
let's
just
wrap
a
it
little
up.
bit.
Is that let's look at the faces that are left. I see Tyler Algier. I see Isaiah Pacheco. I think that's Woody Marks to start. Is that Tyrone Tracy? I would just move all those guys into the handcuff because they're all
Yeah.
backups. Isaiah Pacheco, for those who may not know, he's been traded or he signed with the Lions. So he's now Jahmyr Gibbs backup, which is an interesting dynamic. I don't think he plays a role like the David Montgomery did in Detroit. I'm sorry, Isaiah Pacheco. I never saw really anything crazy great from him in Kansas City. So that's that. Bucky Irving.
Yep, we got
Is it-
Bucky Irving here.
He's an interesting one. I think Bucky's 2 more to the right.
Oh, you are correct.
Bucky Irving, I drafted him his rookie season, I think, and it worked out excellently for me. And then I think he got hurt last year for a couple games. I don't know. I don't really know where to place him. I think he's an A-tier talent. I think he's fantasy-wise probably a B-tier production.
He
And that's all I have to
found
say.
the end zone on the ground one time last year. 3.4 yards per attempt. I don't know. I feel like
that's
I'd almost maybe throw him in C tier with
Pretty
upside
pretty
potential.
shit, huh? Who's his
Yeah,
backup?
definitely.
Kenneth
Kenny
Gainwell.
Gainwell.
I
he
mean-
missed 7 weeks, so I definitely think there's going to be a lot more upside
Yeah.
potential. But I agree, C tier. Same thing with Gainwell. I mean, he played all 17 games, but unless you guys have it differently, I think he's the clear RB2 coming out of Tampa Bay. I definitely think there's
Yeah.
upside potential, but again, C tier guy.
Yeah,
Or-
I would just handcuff him.
Maybe
to be
handcuff him.
honest.
Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
if you draft Bucky Irving, you might as well draft Gainwell as well.
Yeah, you should if you're gonna.
Because one of them's going to take off. You don't know which one.
Yep.
Jacoby Krosky Merritt. I don't know if I'm saying that correctly.
I think you
Um,
are.
He's the Washington running back. They also now have Rashad White in the backfield there as well too. I'm interested to see how that dynamic plays out. I think Jacory was the RB1 heading into the season on the depth chart, so I would obviously rank him a little higher than Rashad White for fantasy purposes. We'll see if that holds. I think I don't know. I would just C tier them, I guess. I think Jacory was hurt last season too. I don't think he played a full season.
Yeah.
He did. He played all 17 games.
Oh, did he? Am I an
Oh.
idiot?
He
Okay.
had all 17 games, 175 carries for 805 yards, 8 touchdowns, 9 receptions for 68 yards. And Rashad White is pretty much the same stat line, except he had 4 touchdowns. He had a couple more receptions, but
I don't even think
weren't
I
great
have
numbers.
I don't even think I have Jacory on my stat sheet. Do you see him anywhere?
I don't know. I could check real
He
quick.
he played all 17 games last year. He
Oh,
had
he's right here. I see him now. Okay.
800 yards, 8 touchdowns. Yeah.
I think these guys are in the same category as Aaron Jones. I think they have trade value.
I
I
actually agree
would
with that.
put them in my flex based off of matchup situations, but I'd be looking to trade them right off of a high week and let somebody else hold the McDonald's bag.
Yeah, that's fair. We'll see how Jaden Daniels does this season. Hopefully he has an up year. He was kind of disappointing last season. So I think did he get hurt last season? Maybe. I don't remember. But if that's a healthy team, he has potential. They both do, especially Rashad White being a primary pass catcher. Yeah, that's all the starters. So who's left? I see Tyler Algier. Is that Woody Marks to the left?
I believe
Is that
so.
Is that
I think
James
that's-
Conner?
It looks like Jerome
Oh.
Ford.
Oh, maybe. I don't know.
All right.
Jerome, is he on the Browns? Jerome Ford?
Jerome Ford's actually with Washington too.
What the fuck?
Yeah.
Okay. I don't have him on my stat sheet. So I think these three people we just throw in handcuff comfortably at this
Yeah.
point.
You could put Jerome Ford in the shadow realm.
Yeah, probably.
He had 24 carries for 73 yards, 0 touchdowns,
Is this
26
Jerome
receptions
Ford?
for 103. I think so. That's what I
Alright,
think it looks
shadow
like. I
realm.
could be
Oh,
wrong.
I thought that was what he marks. I don't know.
Someone will flame us in the comments.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm
please
sorry.
do.
It's so
There's
small on
so
my
many
screen. I
running
can't make out
backs.
all the details in their faces.
I'm not
you know?
wearing my glasses.
I'm wearing my glasses, but I just have a tiny screen to look at. Well, anyways, there you have it. That's our running back tier list heading into the 2026 fantasy football season. Thank you all for joining us. Thank you, Brett, for holding it down in the chat, being very our insider in New Orleans for that New Orleans running back tiering. We appreciate it. Thank you everybody for joining us live here on YouTube and Twitch. If you couldn't make it live, be on the lookout for our full episode to be posted on Spotify and Apple Podcasts at the conclusion of the stream. If you want to support our group and our journey, please make sure to follow us so you don't miss any content, and be sure to check out our website 4qwy.com. We got some fresh fire merch. I'm wearing one of our hoodies right now. Got to represent it. You can get yours today. Well, not today. It takes about, I don't know, 5 to 7 business days for it to ship, but you can get it in 5 to 7 business days if you buy it today. So, if you want to support us, that's the best way to do it. Thank you all for tuning in. We will see you live next Thursday at 7 p.m. for our wide receiver tier list. Tom, Jay, thank you guys for joining us. Do you guys have any final remarks for the audience?
Nope.
I
We'll see you guys next week.
Yeah, please feel free to shit on us if there's anything you disagree with.
Hell yeah, I'll be in TikTok comments. Don't worry, I'll be on Twitter. I'll battle my opinions.
Fans, find me. We'll have a conversation. And you guys suck. Sorry. I wish you guys had a better franchise.
One day you guys will win a playoff game. Well, you guys won a playoff game last season, but
I mean, there's rumors that Jags are leaving Jacksonville, but we'll see. They might not have a franchise for long.
Ooh. All right. Well, we're gonna end it there. Thank you guys for joining us. I hope you all have a phenomenal rest of your night. And Noah, if you're listening, enjoy your cruise. Peace.